How to trade into a drawn position. Have you ever found yourself in a tough chess match, wondering how to turn a challenging situation into a draw? Trading pieces can be a smart strategy in those moments. Let's break down how to effectively trade into a drawn position. First, understanding piece and pawn values is essential. Each pawn is worth 1 point, knights and bishops are worth 3 points, rooks are 5 points, and queens are 9 points. Knowing these values helps you make informed decisions about which pieces to trade. Next, let's talk about trading principles. A good rule of thumb is to trade pieces when you have a material advantage or when you are ahead in development. On the other hand, if you are behind, trading pawns can be beneficial. The specific position on the board often dictates the best approach. Now, what are drawish positions? Certain endgames, like rook versus bishop or rook versus knight, are often drawn due to the difficulty of converting material advantages into wins. Trading into these positions can be a solid way to force a draw. When you trade pieces, you can reduce your opponent's chances of launching a successful attack. This is especially useful if you are ahead in material but struggling to convert that advantage into a win. If you find yourself in a disadvantageous position, consider trading into a known drawish endgame. For example, moving to a rook versus bishop or rook versus knight endgame can often lead to a draw. Pawns play a significant role too. Trading pawns can increase the likelihood of a draw, especially in endgames where both sides have pawns on opposite sides of the board. This is because the king's slow movement becomes more noticeable, making it harder to create a decisive advantage. Always assess the specific position on the board. If you have a significant spatial advantage, exchanging pieces might not be the best move as it could give your opponent more mobility. When you have a material advantage but are struggling to convert it, trading pieces can simplify the position, making it easier to win. Conversely, if you are behind in material, trading into a drawish endgame can be a smart way to salvage a draw. Sometimes, you can force trades by attacking your opponent's pieces. This can be particularly effective if you create a situation where your opponent must trade to avoid losing material. In endgames, consider the mobility and coordination of your pieces. Trading pieces can limit your opponent's ability to coordinate attacks, making it easier to defend or push for a draw. By applying these principles and strategies, you can effectively trade into a drawn position in chess. This approach can turn potential losses into draws or help you maintain a stable position when you are ahead.